Hello, Jester's World. I sit here with Riftside High School. You all know Riftside, the school on the map that you can all find. Uh, I
Somewhere
sit
on there.
I sit here with members of Riftside, definitely your core five performers of this particular season. There is more to this team, but any given show that you would have seen, you probably would have seen a combination of these five in some capacity. And we're going to talk about Championship Day. So Championship Day, April 23rd, where Riftside is returning. They are returning to the championship back to back. We haven't seen a back to back a school go back to back in the championships in several years. So Riftside is that school. So I kind of want to start with the lead up and kind of the year and kind of going into this. You guys were met with all sorts of adversity, but here's where you are. So taking some of that into account and then looking at where you are, tell me how you feel. How does it feel to kind of be back in this spotlight doing an interview like this that Josh and Alicia can remember we did last year, very similar. So how's it feel to be there and back here?
Traumatic.
Dramatic.
That's a word for it.
And you know what? That's all that we had for our interview.
Yeah, bye guys.
Go cheer for
Bye.
Riftside in this championship.
I feel like I would say it's been like a very bittersweet feeling. As much as I love doing gestures and as much as we've done all of what we needed to do on stage this year, I really wish we did have the support of our school, which is also called Riftside, but in like different ways. I really do wish that we had that like support from our school as other schools do. It's I have like this sense of like almost jealousy because I'm looking at these other schools and like they have the coaches that can come to their every practice. They have the admin support, and we have greats in our that have been part of our gestures team that have been part of our community at high school. And it just sucks that we can't be represented as the school that we go to, but I'm so glad that we made it once again.
You know, one thing I think I love about this particular league is it's truly life in motion. Everything that we see on stage is life just being played out. It's really a stage full of people who are going through life in some capacity, good, bad, positive, ugly, up, down, that just everyone's going through something, but yet we're finding ways to put that all in some sort of positive forward progress of energy. And in your guys' case, you know, here we are heading into a championship again, and we start with traumatic and the things that are holding us down. It's hard sometimes to just smile about where we are, but it's a good reflection because we all have it. We all have got something somewhere. And in your case, we can pull back the rug a little bit because I'm sure most people don't know what Riftside is or means, and I think that's a good place to start. So Riftside's a created name. So these students do not go to Riftside High School. These students, they created this name, and my only kind of hand in this was that I just said that the name has to be a name that sounds like it could be the name of a school. That's it. It's just, if it sounds plausible, I'll take it. So what they did was they kind of created an acronym off of two former players from their school of their names. So Emmy Robinson and Maya Swift. So the R in Riftside is from Robinson, Emmy Robinson's last name, and the IFT in Rift is from Maya Swift for her last name Swift. So they put that together as Rift, and then someone watched the show Saved by the Bell, and then they created Riftside. Which sounds like a school. And do any of you guys get the Saved by the Bell joke?
No, you're old.
So that's where Riftside kind of came from, which is a beautiful homage. And I've told that story maybe 100 times this year, and probably at 90 of them I got emotional saying it. But it's the beauty behind this league. It sucks that we're in this position to have to create that name, but it's also something very beautiful and very raw at the same time, and no one can take that away from you. Here's a question to maybe spin the tale to see if we can get out of this kind of like our school sucks mode, and get more in a positive mode. So here's something that Rift didn't do. Rift didn't go to back-to-back championships. So Josh and Alicia, is it now maybe time to start telling the Josh and Alicia legacy stories, as being a part of that group that got to do that? So yeah, you've got these stalwarts that were those two that won awards and did all this crazy stuff, but look at you two. You are back in it, doing it all over again. What do you think? Is it time to start talking about you two, and should we erase the record books, talk about Josh and Alicia?
I mean, we can make like Okemicide next year, but that doesn't really have the same ring as Riftside, does it?
No, I like it. It's cute.
Well, I think it's something at least worth throwing out there. It's funny to watch your evolution. It's funny to watch Sophia. It's funny to watch Haley. It's you five in particular really strike me because Margot's a transfer. So Margot kind of came in with a little bit of that crazy already. So it seemed to kind of just fit with your crazy. Haley, as a freshman, it's hard to find freshmen that powerful. And I think you guys are just kind of like red carpet. This is the school of power. Haley, please join the power club. And then there's Sophia here, who somehow got caught in the middle of the tornado and can't escape.
Yeah.
So I feel like just in the eye of the storm, trying to walk out. Where's the point? Where do I think I asked Karina earlier, Coach Karina, in an interview, did Sophia get off the wrong bus? Like, did Sophia at the right place? So it's kind of a cool homage. Okay, well, guys, I mean, adversity or not, tell me, how's it feel? What are we thinking? What are
I
we?
want that trophy so bad. I am salivating, and I know the rest of my team are. We are dogs in a desert looking for water, and that water is the trophy. And best believe we're gonna put all of our doggy booties into this trophy once again, as we
I
did
like
last.
the addition of the booties.
Yeah. Our big fat doggy booties just swarming in, farting all over that trophy. We want it so bad, marking our territory and stuff.
This is what it's like to do an interview with students from Riftside, the very famous, well-known school in Riftside.
We talk
Haley,
about farting on the trophy.
Haley, freshman coming into this, not knowing a whole lot about this world. Tell me your thoughts. How cool is it to be in this particular situation?
I think it's very like eye-opening, and like it's a way for opportunity. And I mean, I'm so glad that they won the trophy last year, and I am rooting for all of us to win it again this year, because whoop whoop trophy. You know,
It's definitely the cherry on top. I get that. I understand that. I know that's something that you guys, you'll get the feels in your hearts to have that cherry on top. Margot, how much do you want the cherry on top?
Oh, I love cherries. They taste so good with ice cream. And I just had ice cream today. It was so yummy.
There. There's no way to get a serious answer on a riff side. Okay, Sophia, you're caught in the storm. I'm gonna get a serious answer out of you. How?
Oh, okay.
We're not being used.
Sophia, tell me, you kind of came into this in a unique fashion. How cool has this been for you?
Very unexpected, but it's one of those things where it's like I never planned it, but it's gonna be probably one of the highlights of my senior year. So that's pretty fun to think about.
Being a part of championship, even the lead up to it. So just coaches show, all-star show, all those things that come into play with championship day. You're already riding a high. before you even get to it. Now, last year's championship day was pretty neat. It was online, but there were some really neat things about it that at least gave it a better feel. But getting back to being in person, I mean, if you remember, a couple of you older ones, if you remember what it was like to be in person, wait a minute, were you guys around for one in person?
Me, Alicia, and
But your first
like-
year, COVID ended the year
yeah, it did. Yeah, so this is like my first year ever in person.
in person.
There's definitely learning curve. A great
So yeah, man, that All-Star show alone. So the All-Star show gets more love than the championship. It's always been the case. The crowd is filled. There's hundreds of people sitting there waiting for an All-Star show every single year. This year, I think it will add a little bit more drama because we're at Del Sol, the team that you're facing in the championship. So I think that crowd's just going to carry over. I think by the time you guys get on stage for the actual championship, this might be one of the biggest crowds you've ever been in front of.
No pressure.
Oh,
What?
thanks.
No pressure at all.
What's the most people you've been in front of performing?
Like
15.
a good 4.
At least 4.
I'm waiting for one of you to throw it up like a.
No, like honestly, like I think like
Oh,
from what I can remember, the most people we had, at least from like Riftside coming to watch us, was like at most 5.
Well, and that's for Riftside, but how about just in general? Maybe in a play that
Like-
you've been in.
30.
40,
30, I would say
50.
30 to 50.
Okay.
I still say 4.
Well,
I feel pretty solid with that.
I did the Del Sol interview, and they got 12 people in that interview, and they're kind of like, these were the people that we could just throw together for an interview real quick, because they're 35. Those are just the students that bought a shirt, not to mention all the rest of the students that didn't buy a shirt. They're like, yeah, this is kind of the way we do it. And I was trying to say to them, I was like, hey, I get the big team love, but sometimes those little teams, man, you find this energy and this groove and this flow and this fun. And that is something you guys have by the buttload. Here, let's do a transition talk. Tell me about Northwest and Clark. How do we feel going through that experience? Because that's a unique experience altogether. Tell me about the Northwest show.
Don't think we've ever been so stressed for a show beforehand ever in our entire lives. We were just like, okay, we're just gonna do our best, and then whatever happens, happens. And we did that like for both shows, and then we're like, oh, we won. This is fun. Oh God.
Josh, go ahead.
Well, like I remember like being in Alicia's car, like step before we got off and went into the school, and just being like, oh my God, like we're gonna die. Like we're like they're just gonna eat us alive. And then like the moment like we won the first show, it was one of the hardest shows I've ever done. All of us have ever done. We were sweating. We looked like a commercial for deodorant. We were bad. We hit bad. We genuinely did not think we were gonna win. We honestly were like this is our last show. We know that we put our all into it, and we did the same for Clark. And Clark was just a whole other monster. We talk about the Northwest show and how like amazing and how hyped up it was, but like Riftside and Clark, we're like sister schools, and that was the matchup that we were the most scared of, the most anxious. I think it was visible in all of our faces sitting in that like the 4 chairs. We were just like, this is our show. Like Clark has us. Clark had it in the bag, and we didn't know we were gonna win. And Clark put on a good job, and so did Northwest.
Are there points during any of the shows where you're just like, man, I don't think we got it? Like Haley, your thoughts too? Or is there like a game you're like, ooh, I don't know, I feel like they get it, or Northwest got it, or Clark got it? Did any of you have those points?
During
Yes.
the show, yeah. There was a moment during the Clark show where Josh turned to me and was like, we didn't get any laughs. They're gonna destroy.
What game? When was it?
I don't remember.
It was Reviver. I remember this like turning to Margot and being like they're funny. They're so funny. And then emotional party. Isaiah, that just like bit of him abandoned, and then Erica walks in. It's like I'm like, that's us.
Yep. Yeah, Erica's exit too, super strong in that one. Any other, Haley, do you have any eyeball tests where you're just like, ooh, I don't know about that part?
I think it was during the Clark show. I most definitely had a lot of faith in the Northwest show, but during the Clark show, I kept looking over at the judges and they just looked so unhappy, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, no.
Unhappy judges. We have to remember that for this week. Now, here's one thing at least will be peace of mind is you'll have 3 fresh judges that hadn't been there for 6 hours before your championship show. So they'll show up for your show and only your show. So fresh eyes, which is good. Do you guys have any tricks up your sleeve for the championship? Or
We're gonna put whoopee cushions on their seats.
Yeah.
We're all gonna wear sleeves and have just marbles on the stage. Just hope they
I will never ever bring up a divorce ever again. I am so sorry.
solemnly swear.
Hey, you got divorced all those times and you won. So I mean,
Never again. It's out. No more.
But I know we spend like a lot of time like telling ourselves like, oh yeah, we're so scared. But honestly, I think Delso has to look out for us. We might be the defending champions, but we're also the underdogs. I'm self-proclaimed underdogs. Like bark. But like I honestly, like this is to Del Sol. Like we're gonna put all of ourselves into the show, and we hope you do as well, because we want nothing better for this final last show. Me and Alicia and Sophia and Bella and other seniors from Del Sol.
Yeah, and you got a lot. You're all seniors on the other side. Right now, they're anticipating to have their same 4 seniors that played in their Final Four matchup. So you're gonna have all seniors on that other side, and then whatever combination that you guys create. But of course, we got 3 of you as seniors right now. Well, I'd love to find a way to have some parting words. I don't know if there's some love or messages you want to send Del Sol's way. I know that there's a planned get together with Del Sol. You guys are going to get together and work and practice and whatnot. One thing that I love about this league is that we have the ability to do that. In football, it's kind of not how it works, right? So the Raiders and the 49ers aren't getting together and practicing. That's not a thing. But here, it only makes things better when you do. So I loved your guys' work with Northwest. I thought that just added to the quality of how strong that show was, and then we just kept it that level. So any parting words, any thoughts, fears, anxieties, anything you want to put out there into the universe before we head into this championship?
I have to pee.
Okay, got it. That's anxiety. Hopefully you pee before the show.
No, just pee all over the stage. That's our tricks.
and then get divorced.
No.
Anything you want to put out there? Send a message to Del Sol. Anyone?
Dear Del Sol.
Who from Del Sol?
Dear Del Sol, we love you so much. We wish the best of luck. We are very scared. We might sue a little, for a little, not get divorced, get remarried, and we hope we have the best show in that show.
Okay. Sophia, any parting words?
I am very nervous and I'm very new at this, and whichever way it goes, best of luck to both the rest of my teammates and Del Sol.
Okay. Haley, what do you got for Del Sol?
Sol means sun in Spanish, right?
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's act like it does. Shine the brightest like the sun, because just so you know, we're gonna be soon and light up the darkness.
There you go.
Made that up.
You should write that down. Margot, send some love back to Del Sol.
I just, I think that you guys are so pretty, and that dress really makes your butt look big, and I think that you should definitely wear it. And I'm so excited to see you strut your stuff.
Okay, Josh, which means you're the one to bring this home.
No. All right. So it's Bella, Ghost, Josh, and Max we're going to perform with, right? Well,
Anticipated, yes.
and knowing the caliber that you guys have put out this entire year, this is the show that we're the most tongue-tied and scared for, and we're excited to see you guys. And we hope you guys have the best show, because we know we're gonna have the best show. And see you guys then. That's it. And
Yeah.
Speedy, Josh, I'm sorry for taking your wallet. I'm glad you got it back though.
So
My
this
fault.
this particular trophy might say Riftside soon. The real school of Riftside, right here, or it could say Del Sol. But we're gonna find out on Championship Day, in which you'll see all sorts of Riftside. Championship Day, April 23rd at Del Sol High School. You'll see Coach Karina, Riftside's coach, in a coach's show, which is something I don't think you guys have seen before. And then you're going to see Josh in an all-star show right in the middle of the day. And then you're going to see some awards. And then you're going to see someone cry. And then you're going to see a championship. So you see plenty of Riftside all day long. Come laugh and figure out why they made it to the championship. It won't be hard. Thank you, y'all. We will see you soon.